All right. Hey, Alex. Cool. There's Alex. All right, let's bring up Alex to the stage. Actually, good afternoon now. Alex, how are you today, sir?
Good afternoon. Um, what a large span of charges we have
Holy
here.
schmoly, yeah, man.
A lot more than last time.
For sure.
I was even shocked at this, but so let me walk you through exactly what went down yesterday evening. So at around one sec, I'm just trying to give you exact times here that I got these calls.
Okay.
Uh, I I got a call yesterday at 6:30 p.m. from a detective over at the 83rd precinct. Um, she informed me that she was assigned to Mr. Itzler's case, and that not only were they pursuing felony criminal contempt charges against him for sending people to my screening on November 10th, but also 3 days after he was released from jail originally on August 23rd, he broadcast my phone number on his live stream. Uh, so because of that, that's also violating the no third party contact.
Okay.
So that is why the charges are repeated. Um,
Okay. Thank you for clearing that up. Trying to figure that out. So I appreciate that.
so they're charging him originally for 3 days after. Also, they informed me that the warrant initially was issued on November 20th for his arrest out of Brooklyn, and it wasn't until a few days ago that they were able to actually go serve that warrant. But the warrant had been issued on the 20th after a detective had sent me a text with a photo of Jason's mugshot, which I'll show you right here. This has made its rounds on Reddit and stuff like that. And the source of that mugshot was from my text conversation with this detective who sent me a
Okay.
text saying, Mr. Novell, is this the person you filed the complaint against on 11/12/24? Can you tell me his name? And I said, Jason Itzler. Yes, that's him. And I didn't hear back from them again until yesterday when ultimately I spoke to the detective. I went through everything, and then I got on the phone with a clerk from the DA's office and went through everything in excruciatingly long detail. The call was about 35-40 minutes long, where I just went through the charges with them, went through exactly what happened related to the charges, and that's where they were able to get the menacing and the physical contact and stuff like that.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, he is facing a felony then?
So he's facing. It looks like he's facing one, two, three, four Class E felonies, two Class A
Okay, the
misdemeanors,
EFs. Okay, yeah. Okay, I see there the EFs then. All
and
right.
then I don't know what I think V is just a violation.
A violation. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that got real serious real quick.
The thing about the assault case that was so frustrating is the burden of proof on something like assault is so different than the burden of proof on something like violating an order of protection, right? So, um, he's able to claim self-defense, and the DA's office, basically the Manhattan DA's office, says, well, we're not going to want to take this to trial. Here's a plea deal for a misdemeanor. He pleads guilty to the misdemeanor, and he's off and back at his own shenanigans, as long as he doesn't mention me or send any more harassment my way or anything like that. But he can't help himself, and he's so brazen with his harassment and intimidation. So what he did was immediately after being released, violate it again. And then when I had the screening, he again violated it. And I think you know they take this really seriously, and there's such clear proof of his violation here versus the defense he will have to make for himself is much different from an assault defense.
Oh, absolutely.
The protective order, by the way, I didn't even request for that to be put into place. That's something that the state automatically puts in place because I am, in the state's eyes, a victim of a violent
Right.
crime. And so they automatically put this protective order in place for 5 years. Just flat, that's what happens.
You
I
know,
don't think there's a way to spin it
this is all
because
on camera, you know,
it's all
is
on
my
camera
opinion.
and the phone calls. He can't say he didn't make the phone call
Right.
because his phone called Sonic's phone at that time, and they're just going to look at those two phone numbers, look how long that phone call is, and correspond that to the video and say that's definitely Mr. Itzler on the phone.
Sure. Yeah.
So in that case, he is definitely going to have to plead guilty or face trial, and the mandatory minimums for these felonies are 1 year each. I think that this is going to be a much different process. It's a very clear, from what they explained to me last night, is that it's very clear cut criminal contempt, and that they're going to be pursuing the charges, and that they might ask me more on the phone to go into more detail about specific things, but that the videos that I've provided of Mr. Itzler being in violation of the protective order are very, very clear cut. So
Sure.
I have a lot more confidence this time than I did last time about him facing actual, prison time for this. Whether that's 6 months or a year, I'm not sure. But again, like, I think this is all a slow process, and I think people out there, especially in like these online communities who are watching this stuff on the regular, don't understand that the wheels of justice turn incredibly slow, and that I'm still working as hard as I can with like investigators and with anyone I can to provide them with as much detail as possible in order to prosecute Jason Itzler for crimes not just related to attacking me, but for crimes related to murdering Julia Sumnick by giving her GHB in 2010.
Did they talk about or ask any questions or mention anything about possibly Sonic or Mondo's involvement or any
So
charges
they
being pressed
asked me,
against
yeah,
them?
they asked me about them, and my response was they were specifically asking about Sonic because he's the one on the phone with Mr. Bass.
Right.
Um, and what I told them was, one, that like these guys are not like aware of the order of protection. Um, they're not like aware of how that works or third party contact or anything like that. They were just kind of dumb live streamers thinking they were doing something funny for content,
Right.
and they didn't realize how serious what they were engaging in was. And the DA and the detectives agree with that. And I think they might reach out and try to talk to Sonic, but I don't think they are interested in pursuing like charges against him
Okay.
because again, there's no order of protection between me and Sonic,
Right.
and Sonic uh, is not like engaging in conspiracy to violate the order of protection. He's
Right.
just kind of showing up as a third party who was you know asked to make that third party contact.
Right.
So again, like they definitely last night were asking me a lot about, they're like, do you know this guy's name? Do you know who he is? And I was like, yeah, I know him. But I just don't think that he was aware of what he was doing. And I spoke to Mando last night as well. Like, he's in my Discord server and we talked about it. So he's not worried at all either. Sonic might be worried, but Sonic maybe deserves to be worried a little bit. I mean, he sucks. Let me leave you with one final thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
You said you hope somebody learns something. Nobody in the IP2 world ever learns anything. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome, Alex. Hey, I appreciate you taking the time. Good luck with your case, and thank you for coming up and taking the time. Have a good day, sir.